Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. And in today's video, we are going to be continuing Naruto DxD, The Last Shinobi. What if Naruto was in high school DxD Season 1 Part 4, the Season 1 finale of the Remastered edition. But as always, if you are new to the channel or if you're a regular and you like what we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that is to come out now and in the future. So we're not going to do a recap. We are just going to hop straight into the video. So as always, if you haven't, make sure you check out the previous installments so you can be caught up on everything as we go into today's story. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video. As always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Naruto walked along with the other members of the House of Gremory as they arrived to the private place of land where they'd be doing their training. Of course, this wasn't for Naruto personally, more so than it was for the other members of the House of Gremory. Rias, along with Akeno, Kiba, Koneko, Asuya, and their newest member, Rainier. This was in preparation for the raiding game. More so at the behest of Rias, she implored, almost begged Naruto to help. Rias was not a proud person. Although she did have high levels of pride, she knew better than to turn away what little help she could get at this moment. There was no denying, Naruto had skill. Skills far more than anyone would give him credit for. In all reality, she would have hoped that she could have got him to join the House of Gremory, but Naruto still wasn't really thinking of making that kind of decision. It wasn't that he had anything against them, but again, this really wasn't his fight or his problem. Although after everything that they had done for him and that he had done for them, he couldn't deny the friendship that they had. It was why he had joined the Occult Research Club in the first place. He just enjoyed being around them, even if he wasn't involved in their day-to-day activities. Those were the things that he chose not to put his efforts towards. But even still, after meeting someone like Riser, he was more than willing to help. Anything he could do to get them the advantage that they needed in this win would be all the more beneficial. Naruto came with his bags packed, his many of notebooks that he had, with all of the knowledge of ninjutsu and the way of the ninja. He wasn't sure how applicable it could be in their situation, but there was one thing he could count on. Riser didn't think like a ninja, nor did he fight like one. That was the primary advantage they would have going into this battle. If they could execute this plan well enough, then even with the numbers stacked against them, they could come out on top. As they arrived, everyone would turn to Naruto's attention. Everyone standing out in their tracksuits ready for training, and wondering just what Naruto had to offer. Oh boy, I've never actually had to train anyone before, so this is new. But from everything Rias has told me, and how the raiding game works, I think that in terms of skill, you guys have what it takes to win. At least from what I saw from Riser's whole set when he showed them off in front of us at the club room, they didn't seem like anything all that dangerous, except maybe himself and his queen. Not that his people aren't powerful or skilled, but in the end of the day, I've been able to gauge what you guys can do. You have the power needed to face them. It's just how you execute using your skills. Naruto would create a set of shadow clones. After grouping everyone into their designated training areas, along with the notebooks for the information that he'd need for teaching them, they all broke into their individual training groups. First, Naruto, and Kiba. From what Naruto had been able to learn, Kiba had the power of the night, meaning he had immense speed, and his skill came from his sacred gear, Sword Burst, the power that allowed him to create swords with a lot of unique and powerful abilities, a skill that could be pretty useful. For his training, it would consist of Kinjutsu, as Naruto would take a sword made from Kiba. It was an ordinary sword, nothing special. Naruto would begin their training by telling Kiba to come at him with every magical sword that he could make, every element, every type, every ability that he could possibly think of at that moment. Kiba followed through, and for the most part, he was pretty effective, but still, he couldn't break past Naruto's defenses. That's where Naruto would expose Kiba's first flaw. You're skilled, Kiba. I have to say, in terms of Kinjutsu, the way of the sword, you definitely have me beat. Really? And why can't I? It's because you're relying too much on the power of your sword and not your overall skill. Our focus is to make sure that you're so good with the sword, you don't need to use any fancy element to add. The way I see it, your power should be a multiplier or a boost of your base. Your base is good, but it could be better. I get it. So, it's like I'm only multiplying by 1 when I should be multiplying by more? Well, that's one way of looking at it. Think of yourself as a 1, and I don't say this to be rude. You're a 1, and your sword burst is like a 2. Granted, that's a good benefit. You could keep powering up your sacred gear, and that'll keep powering you up. But imagine if instead of being a 1, you were a 2. You take your sword burst, that's a 2, and instead of just rising to a 2, you could become a 4, or something higher. That's why during this training, you're only allowed to fight me with a regular sword. No element, no magic, nothing at all. We're going to train your skills up so much that when you do pick up a magic sword, it'll be far more deadlier in your hands. The next bit of training would be with Akeno and with Rainier. Naruto learned that the both of them had origins as fallen angels. Well, Rainier was a full-blooded fallen angel and Akeno was only a half fallen. But Akeno didn't want to speak on it any further, and Naruto didn't plan to. Right now, the only focus was learning their skills and seeing what they could do. Rainier could create weapons or anything out of light energy, something that was a weakness towards devils in general. So she had that skill going for her. And then there was Akeno, who was skilled with using her sacred lightning. I see. So you're like a lightning style user, huh? A lightning style user? It's something from my world with people who can use lightning, but you can conjure it on a bigger scale. The way I see it, I think that for the two of you, your training shouldn't just be in learning how to use your element, but giving your elements different forms. Naruto would demonstrate to them how he used his chakra, and then he would show them the Rasengan. You see, the Rasengan is a change in chakra form. I haven't actually been able to add a nature to it, but you guys have the nature element down packed, with light and with lightning. What you have to do is basically take the applications of change in chakra nature and change your magical nature into a different form. Instead of just using lightning, you could change your lightning into different shapes and sizes. Use it in a multitude of ways. Things that you would never even think possible. This was to expand their overall usage of their skill. Instead of just being one-dimensional, come up with different ways to use the power. Next was Koneko. She liked hand-to-hand combat, so taijutsu would definitely be up her alley. Her skills in hand-to-hand combat were already on a good level, as she was able to give the Naruto clone a good run. However, he was able to pin her at multiple times during their bouts. You're not bad, Koneko, I'll admit, but you fight like a typical brawler. It's just my style. It's nothing more than that. I understand, but you don't really have the body type of a bare-knuckle brawler though. Then what do you think I should do? Koneko would ask. Naruto would flip through his notebook before coming through with a fighting style that would suit her. This is called Reshuken style. Reshuken. I think I've heard that word. It's like kickboxing or something? It's something like that. You primarily focus on using your legs for attacking, and you use your arms and your fists for countering and for defense. I see, but why would I use this? Well, it's because of your body type. You're smaller and you're a lot more agile with a slender frame in nature. You can definitely get around your opponents a lot faster than most people. And I believe that with your legs, you could gain a lot more in terms of your striking power. Instead of just trying to over-rely with a blow from your fist, you should concentrate your energy into your legs. And then, when you see an opening, you then strike with your fist. When it comes to precision, you definitely have good hand and eye coordination. So I don't doubt that when you see an opening, your fist striking would be way more lethal. Koneko would take Naruto up on that offer, as he showed her the ways of Reshuken style and improved in her taijutsu. Next there was Asuya. Asuya was not a combatant. She never had been. But there was one thing that could work in her favor. Naruto had exercises for chakra control. Instead of controlling chakra, she could just control her overall magical input, her twilight healing. The way it worked was that Asuya would just heal over an area until it was completely recovered. But while that was effective, her control could be a lot more better. Instead of just healing over an area, she could focus specifically within the area, making the healing much more effective. Naruto would go through the basic exercises that he used for chakra control and would apply it to Asuya. At least in this way, her skill could improve at a much better rate. And there was also something else he wanted to check out, but it was something he'd figure for later. Then finally, there was Rias. Rias was the leader of the group. When it came to her power, it wasn't really anything that Naruto could teach her in that regard. It more so came from strategy. Naruto would go through Rias' knowledge of battle strategy. She was definitely had good information on the subject, but Naruto applied Shinobi strategy, moving in waves and coordinating her attacks in different groups and positions. He was able to open up a lot of the flaws that Rias had in her game plan, and show where, if they had gone through with them, where they could go wrong. But it wasn't a matter of just showing what she did wrong, but rather to improve on what she had done right. Rias was not a bad strategist by any means. It was just that she thought with a limited mindset. What Naruto wanted to do was expand her horizons, to show that she and her group were capable of doing far much more. Of course, it wasn't that Rias didn't have faith in her team, but whatever plan she made out of genuine concern. The last thing she wanted was to lose any of them or for anyone to get hurt. Naruto understood that sentiment, but in battle, sometimes you had to be willing to take a risk to gain an even bigger reward. However, the mark of a true leader was learning which risks were and weren't worth taking. Naruto would tell Rias that her house had grown a lot stronger, and her as well. There was so much that they could do. She just had to have faith that they could do it. The training was going well for everyone. Naruto, employing his style and merging it with their own, was showing them a new way of fighting, a new way of thinking, putting them on a level that they didn't even know they could get to. As the night before the raiding game came, Naruto would be doing some training of his own. This gauntlet, this sacred gear, whatever it was, he had no idea how he had gained it. He also had no idea how he was even going to use it. Oh, great. So now I have something else sealed inside of me. Not sealed per se, Rias would say, as she walked behind him. It's more so that that beast of the dragon is sealed within your sacred gear, and your sacred gear is a part of you. Oh, hey Rias. I didn't know you were up. It's alright. I couldn't sleep very much anyway. So many things I have to figure out. Yeah, but, you know, the most important thing you can do is get some rest. You have a big day ahead of you. I know. Naruto, I can't thank you enough. You've done so much for all of us. I mean, going into this fight, I had faith, but even I had to admit, there was some doubt. But now I feel like I actually have a chance. We have a chance, and it's all because of you. I'm flattered, but it's not because of me. I didn't do anything special, Rias. All I did was show you guys the power that you have within you. To show yourselves what you're capable of. Truthfully, what happens tomorrow, it's going to be because of all of your hard work. I was just tagging along. And you're as modest as ever, I see. So, why did you agree to help us? I mean, you have no reason to in the end of the day. You're not obligated, so come on. We've been through a lot since we've met recently, and I'm grateful to you all. I like being around you. Of course, I can't say that I fully understand everything that's going on around me. There's still so much I don't know and so much that I need to know. There's something on your mind, isn't it, Naruto? It's just, I wonder sometimes why my dad really sent me away. I mean, sure, he says that the Sage of the Six Paths said that he should, but I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if it's because he didn't have faith in me. I mean, if I had stayed in my own home world, would I have had a better life? Would I have gotten stronger? Maybe I could have done more. You know, from what you've said about your mother and father, they really loved and cared about you. I don't think any decision they made was because they didn't have faith in their son. But I think it's because they have the utmost confidence that whatever happens, however this turns out, you'll be able to succeed. They know that you can do anything. And just look at what you've done. You've grown as a young man. You've grown as a fighter. You've saved many lives more times than you can already count. I think they made the right decision. Because I'm happy that I got to meet you. I feel the same. Although, there is one dream I've always had that I'll never get to fulfill now. What's that? Well, my dad told me stories about the Hokage. The Hokage? Yeah. You see, in my world, there are ninja villages. Each one has a Kage that leads them. From my village, the village hidden in the leaves, the Hokage stands atop as the strongest of them all. I don't know. My father was the Hokage, so maybe I could have had what it took to be one myself. But now, I don't think I'll get that chance. You know, maybe you could be a Hokage. Really, how? Well, I'm not putting any pressure on you. But if you want it, you could just become a devil. And I'm not saying you have to join my house, but you know that the current system, there are 4 devil kings. Who's to say that there can't be a 5th? A 5th? Yes, Naruto. The underworld isn't some fiery brimstone you think it is. It's another dimension, a place all into itself, with multiple lands and territories. Of course, not all of it's conquered, and even still a lot of it's underdeveloped, still waiting to be made into a home. I'm just saying, I think you could have the potential to become a devil king. And even still, it would require a title, like Grimory or Leviathan or something along those lines. Who's to say that you can't make Hokage a title? A title all into itself. Naruto thought this over. It was intriguing, not necessarily a bad idea, but he still had his doubts. Yeah, but, I mean, would I really have the right to call myself the Hokage at that point? I don't know when exactly I'd be worthy of that name. Ria smiled as she walked over and pulled him into a hug. From what I've seen, I have no doubt you would be worthy. And I'd see to it that you were. Naruto hugged her back. He bowed and smiled gratefully. If I have the endorsement of the crimson-haired princess of annihilation, then maybe I'm not so bad off. I agree. Good night, Naruto. Good night, Rias. And with that, everyone would rest that night. The following day, everyone stood in preparation. As nightfall soon came, Naruto found himself on the school grounds, along with the Occult Research Club as they prepared for the raiding game. Sona, of the House of Sea Tree, along with her assistant Tsubaki, would come to wish Rias good luck, as well as take Naruto to the commentators area where he could watch along with the battle. Naruto wouldn't be allowed to stay since he wasn't participating, but before he left, he wished everyone good luck. Don't worry, guys. I know you can do it. I have faith in all of you and your skills. Before leaving, Naruto would take one of his 12 flying Raijin kunais and place it in Rias' hand. For good luck. Yeah, for good luck. I hope we impress. You're gonna do more than that. You're gonna win. I know it. With that, Naruto would leave with Sona and Tsubaki as they went on and watched as the raiding game between the House of Grimory and the House of Phoenix was about to begin. Naruto watched on as the raiding game began. From the rules he was able to deduce, it worked like a human-sized game of chess. There were 2 bases, and they were going to be battling in a dimension that mirrored a location that they were familiar with. In this case, it was going to be the school campus, with the club room being the base for Rias and the principal's office being the base for Riser. I guess the goal, if Naruto could even call it that, was to basically infiltrate the enemy's base and to defeat the king. Although seeing it in that way, Naruto could understand why Riser was so smug. It was mainly because he had the numbers advantage, although that was all he had. Naruto watched as Rias would put her plan into motion. It started with Akano and with Rainier, placing illusion traps all around their base, with Kiba and Koneko going out to the midpoint, that being the gym, to secure it, making sure they fortified their defenses before moving any further. As expected, Riser's group would attempt to go and try to outnumber Rias's own. However, things did not work in that favor. For starters, the group that went up against Kiba were cut down rather quickly and effectively, as well as Rainier using her power of the pawn. Even if it was just one piece, she was able to promote herself to queen, and having two queens on the battlefield was more than powerful enough to fend off the likes of Riser's even stronger pieces. Koneko's effective use of taijutsu made her a deadly threat, and she was delivering swift roundhouse kicks to the back of the head and devastating punches to the chest. They were dismantling Riser's house effectively and dominantly, much to Riser's dismay. It seems Riser's bride has been able to level up her pieces, although I doubt this is the work of her. It's that boy. What shall we do, Lord Riser? Riser's queen would ask him. Their little power-ups and tricks, they're cute. But you see, there's one thing that I'm afraid that boy hasn't prepared them for. It's what happens when you come across a power you can't possibly hope to overcome. Rias's team had made good leeway. They had been able to get through many of Riser's pieces and his forces. Riser's sister, Ravel Phoenix, was not happy about this at all. They had the strength, they had the numbers, they had everything. So why were they losing? It made no sense. She was all but through with this nonsense of a battle. Her brother was supposed to be a champion. They were a part of the House of Phoenix. The House of Phoenix didn't get dominated like this. All the same, they did have a few tricks up their sleeve, that being in the form of Phoenix Tears, a special vial of serum cultivated from the House of Phoenix. It was allowed in the raiding game. As such, those who had been defeated were able to be healed and brought back. They thought that this would give them the edge that they needed, although this was where Asia's time to shine came in. She had been working with Naruto, and she had developed something of their own. They weren't Phoenix Tears, but they were useful, effective, and tasted pretty good. What were they? Food pills. Of course, there were a lot of things that had to be changed with the ingredients. After all, food pills were used to replenish stamina and chakra, and outside of Naruto, no one really used chakra. But that's the funny thing. Magic, chakra, ki, nen, whatever you want to call it. More often than not, power is a lot similar than you might think. At least how Naruto figured. If power, at least the universal concept of power, was one thing, you could say that power was like water. And you could say that if you take a water hose and you have different nozzles and settings, that's basically all that power really was. It was just a nozzle in which power could be expressed in different ways. Just like a wire hose nozzle that had different forms of shooting out water. In the end of the day, was a magic fireball or a ninja fireball any different? No, not really. Different processes, yes, but in the end of the day, it produced the same result. A fireball is a fireball. This was something that Naruto had to take into consideration with their training. And it was because of this that they were able to create these concoctions. As such, when it was seen that Rias may have lost her pieces, eating a food pill was enough to get them back into the swing of things, and even the playing field. This was something that Riser didn't see coming. What was even more shocking was that they were all making their way to his base. Naruto had a wicked grin on his face as he smiled. Sona and Tsubaki looked at him. I take it this is your handiwork, Naruto? I didn't do anything all that special. I just guided them in the direction they needed to go. And now I can't wait until they beat this arrogant jackass. They watched on as Rias now came from her position. The only ones left were Riser, his sister Ravel, the bishop, and his queen, while Rias still had her whole set, or at least what she had brought with her, ready to fight. You've done well, my love. Riser is most pleased with your tenacity. I'm flattered. You should surrender now, Riser. I've dispatched almost all of your household, and mine still stands strong. You should think twice before coming into conflict with the House of Grimmery. Yes, Riser is most impressed, seeing how far his soon-to-be betrothed has been able to level up her household. Truly special pieces indeed. But I think you're making one small mistake. And what might that be? For as strong as your house may be, are you truly strong to stand against the Phoenix? Riser's blazer was set on fire, as if he were wearing a coat of flame, as he walked towards them menacingly. Everyone stood on guard at the ready. If they could just take him down, they could win this. However, what happened next was not for the faint of heart. Kiba would use his ice blade, believing it was the best counter against Riser's flame. It was effective and even cut off his arm. But when you have the power of the immortal bird, regeneration is nothing but the snap of a finger. And well, Kiba was not prepared for the incinerating flame that shot him in the back. Both Rainier and Akano would form defensive shields, Rainier using her multiple javelins of light, as Akano would coat them in lightning, their combination attack looking to take out Riser, only for him to raise a barrier of flame, destroying their attack, as well as breaking down their barrier with his overwhelming force. Koneko attempted to get in for a quick strike, hoping to hit him in his blind spot, but Riser grabbed her by the fist and flung her into the air, shooting off a massive fireball that consumed her in the process, and she was eliminated also. One by one, the house was taken down. Naruto was filled with a sense of worry and dread, even more so for Rias. Tell me, Rias, where is your strategy? Has you all since abandoned you? I surely hope you can offer something more than this. It's over. You've done well, but now I believe you should. Before he could finish his statement, Rias would strike him in the face with a powerful bolt of her crimson lightning, actually leaving a faint scar and blood trickling from his lip. All of that for a drop of blood. Without saying a word, Riser grabbed Rainier off the ground. You are the fallen that gave my beloved so much trouble. Yes. While she has much beauty, she lacks in the way of brains. Always picking up strays and trash and trying to call it a house. Let her go, Riser! Huh? Did this girl not try to cause trouble for you in your territory? And yet what has her punishment been? Nothing but a slap on the wrist and being given the title of Grimmery, something she is indeed not worthy of. Riser, let her go! No, my dear. Your brother and father give in to your pettiness. They give in to your childish whims, but I am not one of them. If you're going to be a part of the House of Phoenix, and you will be, the one thing I will not tolerate is you bringing trash into my household. Riser held Rainier by the throat. It's time for you to join your other useless fallen. You can all burn in hell. Rias ran to Riser. She grabbed him. She punched. She begged. She clawed. And yet all he did was kick her away. I'm putting an end to this. However, before he could enact his next terror, a flash would appear instantly, and Rainier would be gone. Naruto holding her. Naruto? It's okay. I'm here. And here is the crown jewel of garbage. It's already bad enough that they allow a mortal to be at such a sacred occasion. But now you dare get involved with the rating game. Shut the hell up. Picking on people that are weaker than you? Yeah, and you call yourself a big man. Well, why don't you try doing that to me? Is that a challenge, boy? You be wise to remember your place. Riser has no problem wiping trash off the face of the earth. As a matter of fact, that is what I'm going to do. Riser held up his hand. Even his queen looked at him with concern. With the amount of force that he was compressing, he could burn this whole area to the ground. My lord, silence. He wants to play the hero. Well, let's see what he'll do against this. Naruto readied himself as he was about to make a Rasengan. He wasn't sure if it was going to be strong enough to combat this, but he knew he had to try. Still not backing down? Like hell I will. Then let those be your last words. The match is over. Winner, House of Phoenix. What? Riser simply smirked again. Mortal, I've been playing this game for a long time. You are good. I may even say you are great. But you are no master. There's no point in you trying to be in my league. Because you and I are not the same. The dimension slowly disappeared, everything fading away from Naruto. until finally there was nothing but black. Naruto and Asuya sat by Rainier's bedside. Asuya had done her best to heal Rainier, and she would recover, but she was still resting. Asuya could see Naruto's hands were shaking with anger. He still felt it, the regret. If he had just joined them, if he had actually been there to help them, none of this would have happened. That feeling, that moment, watching his friends fall one by one, it was something that he never wanted to experience again. Not when he had the power to do something about it. Asuya tried to reassure Naruto, and Naruto was thankful, but at the same time, he was still hurting. Rias had done her best. It wasn't any fault of hers. It was just an overwhelming force. From what Naruto had always believed, no one should ever fight alone. And yet by not joining, he had seemingly done just that. As Rainier slowly awoke, she saw both Naruto and Asuya. She was happy to see them, and she asked where the others were. They were treated for their wounds, and they were along with Rias in the underworld, where Riser was taking away his now won bride to show off to his pristine colleagues. A few tears would well up in Rainier's eyes. I'm sorry. You tried so hard with me, Naruto. And in the end, I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't help when they needed me. They've done so much. And I couldn't do any. Don't you dare think like that, Rainier. You did everything you could. This isn't on you. It's on me. If I hadn't gotten involved, then you wouldn't have gotten disqualified. That's true. They heard another voice enter into the room. It was Grafia, the wife of Rias's brother. While it is true that you getting involved resulted in Rias's disqualification, you saved Rainier's life and her own. Riser was not in his right mind, and in all likelihood he would have ended up destroying everyone there. Miss Grafia, why are you... Officially, I'm not here. More or less, I come by order of the king, Sir Zex. Grafia would hand Naruto a box. Why? It comes with a message. If you want my sister, you'll have to take her for yourself. Naruto looked into the box and saw there were seven pawns. Why are there 7 pawns here? They're Rias's remaining pawns. It was what she would have given you had you accepted and joined her house. As you know, Rainier took 1 of her pawns. You would take the other 7. You have more than enough power to handle it, Rias believes. Asuya would look to Naruto with concern. Are you sure you want to do this? I have to. Rias is counting on me. If this is the only chance I have to get there, then I have to take it. But does he really have to? I mean, it's not that simple. A mortal trying to challenge, well, that's simply out of the question. He needs the status of devil if he is even going to be given an audience. It's okay, Asya. I don't mind. I know what I have to do. Naruto would accept. With the 7 pawn pieces entering within him, the seal of the pawn would appear. But also, another phenomena would occur. He could feel himself changing, evolving. Whatever he wasn't human anymore. However, he had been reborn as something new. Naruto Uzumaki, servant and pawn to Rias Grimory of the House of Grimory. Where do I need to go? Naruto would ask. Grafia would hand him the teleportation seal. Before leaving, Naruto would turn to Reiner and Asya, the 2 girls looking to him with concern. Don't worry, guys. I'll be back, and I'm bringing everyone with me. I promise. Naruto reached into his closet and pulled out his jacket. It was a black and orange jacket, specially made with the pattern of the Uzumaki clan on its back. And on the top of his closet shelf, he pulled something that he had made a long time ago. It was something he didn't wear often, but it was something that reminded him of his home. You could say it was a way that gave him strength, as he tightened the headband around his forehead. Mother, Father, please be with me now. Meanwhile, in the underworld, the great party was being held, with many guests in attendance. Riser was as confident as he had ever been. He had won the rating game in dominant fashion, displaying his might over the House of Grimory. And now he would have his bride be shown to the world. Of course, why Rias would have to go to an engagement party in a wedding gown was beyond her, but it was for Riser's own liking. Among the other guests would be Kiba, Akeno, and Koneko. Of course, they had wished things could have played out differently as well, but honestly, after hearing what had happened, they were happy that Naruto stepped in when he did, and saved Reiner from an even worser fate. As all the people in attendance looked towards the center stage, Riser would unveil his bride to his guests, Rias, in a flowing wedding gown. Although the ceremonies would not last for too long, as the door burst open and all the guards would be lying on the ground as Naruto walked in. What the? And just what are you doing here? Isn't it obvious? I've come to take Rias home. You have the audacity, and you have the nerve I will give you. However, those are 2 foolish traits that you'll be carrying to your grave. The fact that you, a mere mortal, believe that you have the right to enter into my domain. Naruto would look at Riser, his killing intent and his bloodlust oozing out of him, as Riser could see it. No. You've... Naruto, Rias would say. You became... Yeah, I'm a devil. And like I've said, I've come to take her home, and I won't ask again. Well, this is intriguing. Everyone turned and saw that the king had arrived. Sir Zex. Hello, Riser, Rias, Naruto. It's good that you're all gathered here. This is a party. I was beginning to think that things would be rather dull. And just what is His Highness doing here? Riser would ask. Well, this is the engagement party for my little sister. Of course I wouldn't miss this. Although I must say, I do find your overall attitude and performance to be a bit off-putting, Riser. And why is that, my lord? During the raiding game, my sister had your team thoroughly outmatched. I must say, many find your performance to be rather underwhelming. My liege, in the end, it's results that truly matter, is it not? True. After all, the raiding games don't quite mean what they used to. More of the political and more underhanded parts have gone away for the more sport aspect of it all. But even still, I feel there's a way you should be able to redeem yourself in the eyes of those whom you wish to impress. Naruto, it's come to my attention that you actually possess a sacred gear, do you not? Along with other abilities. Oh yeah, I do. Well, I think the people would like to see that in action. How about it, Riser? You versus Naruto. Are you joking? That brat, who doesn't even know how to awaken his sacred gear to its fullest extent. The wannabe devil? That is who you're giving Riser as competition? If you don't see him as much, then it shouldn't be anything for you. Not at all. Although, I do feel bad for my soon-to-be. After all, she keeps finding these odd little trinkets of trash, and I just keep breaking them. Naruto, please, don't do this! Now, Naruto is a big boy. He can make his own decisions if he wants. Yeah, I can. I agree, Your Highness. I want the fight. Everyone would watch from the spectating dimension, as a separate area was set aside, as both Naruto and Riser would be left in an arena to go one-on-one. Naruto pacing back and forth, as Riser simply smiled. You made a big mistake coming here, boy. I'm going to show you the difference between the two of us. I bear the mark of the Phoenix. You, nothing more but a would-be dragon and a filthy yokai. Now, before we begin, Naruto, if you are to win, what would you want? Many in the crowd would begin to murmur and speak. How could someone of low rank be given such an honor? Settle down. I am his king, and I have asked this of him. What will it be, Naruto? Money, women, fame, prestige, a title. Whatever you want. If you win, ask and you shall receive it. There's only one thing I want. I want Rias Grimmery to be free. Free of her obligation to marry this jackass. And free to decide who will take her hand. And that is all you want. It's exactly what I want. Don't make promises you can't keep. Don't underestimate me, Riser. A ninja always keeps his word. Now, begin! Naruto would race towards Riser without hesitating, the boosted gear summoning to his left hand, boosting its power, doubling it as it continued. I haven't seen just how far this thing can take me. I've only had a few chances to spar, but now it's time to kick it into high gear. Let's go! Riser would throw multiple fireballs towards Naruto. However, Naruto would take out all 12 of his flying Raijin kunais, throwing them in every direction as he yelled, "Ninja Art! Multi-Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu!" Immediately, dozens of kunais would appear all over, Riser looking at them all one by one. "Why would you throw away your weapons? Have you given up so quickly? And even if you can multiply them, it doesn't matter how many you make. You can multiply a 0 by 1,000 or 1,000,000, but in the end, it's still just 0. Keep talking, asshole." As Naruto continued in his pace, he dodged every fireball that came towards him as he went directly towards Riser. Almost as if he were leaving himself wide open, Riser readied another fireball, ready to inflame and destroy him instantly. And it seemed as though he had managed to do it, as it looked as though Naruto had been swallowed up by the flame. However, there was a poof of smoke, and the body that had been set ablaze had disappeared along with the fire, as Naruto appeared behind Riser. "Rasengan!" Immediately, Naruto would send a Rasengan straight into Riser's spine, launching him across the battlefield and landing directly on his back. Riser's power was managing to heal him, but even so, it stung. Naruto's boosted gear continuing to boost as the word echoed through the arena. "Damn! Well, you truly can pack a punch. Perhaps I was wrong to hold back." Riser's wings would turn into that of the immortal flame, his fists coated in the fire as he readied himself. Now, let's try that again. What would happen next would be a flurry, a barrage of strikes and attacks. Riser would use his flame to surround him at all times, not allowing Naruto any opening. And what was worse, the boosted gear had reached its max potential and now had to cool down and reset. Naruto, using 2 of his clones, would use the Uzumaki chains, grabbing Riser by both of his arms and holding him in place. As a multitude of Narutos raced towards him, the first would lower itself before kicking him straight into the air, while the other Narutos jumped off the backs of the first, jumping higher as they continued kicking. Naruto! Uzumaki Barrage! As Naruto had gone up higher than the other clones, he delivered a roundhouse kick to Riser's head, sending him flying back down. However, his arms were still attached to the chains, and the chain users had jumped into the air. While Riser was going down, they were going up, and only the chains connected them. The moment Riser went to the ground, his body would jolt as the Narutos would begin to play a game of ping pong, with Riser being the ball. With Naruto flying above him, he continued to bounce him up and down on the ground. What the? You like that? It's Uzumaki style ping pong! Riser had had enough of Naruto and of his games. Emitting a great flurry of flame, he dispersed it all around him, destroying the Naruto clones and pushing Naruto back himself. Naruto readied himself for the next strike, creating another flurry of shadow clones, all of them wielding Rasengans and ready to hit him in one big barrage. However, the moment they all got close, that was what Riser had been waiting for. Phoenix Burst! Emanating a great wave of flame, all of the Narutos would be sent flying back, creating enough distance. Riser would concur as he used a great ball of flame, launching it directly towards Naruto. Naruto, using the flying Raijin, would escape the trajectory of the blast, only for Riser to appear almost instantly to his location, kicking him down once more. That teleportation trick of yours is rather effective. That is, unless you're dealing with someone capable of keeping up with you. Naruto tried to stand once again, but Riser punched him in the face, knocking him down to the ground. Naruto started taking multiple fiery fists, being punched over and over and over again, not giving him enough time to think or to focus. The only thing he could feel was the pain as Riser began to dominate the fight. Is this it? Is this the best you can do? Please, tell me that there's so much more. All I've heard is how great and impressive you are. And yet you can't stand to me now? Where was all that bravado? Do not tell me that your spirit has left you. You leave Riser very disappointed. All that talk, all of that flapping, and yet here you are lying at my feet. Tell me, my love, is this your hero? Is this the one that you want to put your faith in? You would be wise to fall in line and submit to me. Submit to someone who truly has power. Submit yourself to a king and not to trash. Within Naruto's own psyche, two beasts would be stirring. This is pathetic. Naruto. What the? Ninetales. What are... Naruto could see that the Ninetales was still stuck in its cage, but there was yet another beast. It was on the outside, and it loomed over him. You're a dragon. I am the Welsh dragon. I am Dreg. So, you are the presence that's been in this conscious. Indeed I am, Fox. Naruto, you must stand now. You cannot allow this to end here. You give the boy too much credit. He doesn't have the power to do what needs to be done. And you're not helping him very much. And just why should I help this brat or you? As far as I'm concerned, you can both die for all I care. I'll be reborn. And when I'm free, I'll rid this world of you useless humans. Not likely. Being killed by the immortal flame, well, I don't think we can come back from that so easily. Well, not so much we, more so you. Are you challenging me? Big words from a fox in a cage. Listen here, you overgrown lizard. I don't have to take crap from that boy or from you. If it wasn't from this cage, we'd see who the real top dog is. As much as I'd like to see you put that to the test, we have more pressing matters to deal with. If we're going to win this fight, it's going to take all of our combined power. You don't have to do it to like us, but if you want to survive, then you'll join. I don't have to do anything. The Ninetales and Dreg were not in agreement. Naruto could tell that this was going to be one rocky relationship. Guys, I don't want to lose. Please, I don't need much. Just a little power. Just enough to beat my enemy. Someone with no power, and yet you wish to ask it of me. Just how much audacity can you keep buried within you? I know you hate me, Ninetales, and I can't say I'm fond of you either. If we never talk to each other again, I'd be fine with that. And I wouldn't be asking you for your help if I didn't need it. Please, just lend me some strength. The Ninetales would think this over. And then a sinister grin would come across his face. Very well. I will lend you some of my chakra. And you, dragon, what do you intend to give? The boosted gear has reset. I can boost the power that you give him and take it to another level. You better hope this works, because this is the only time you're getting anything from me. Meanwhile, on the outside, Riser was gloating, and Sir Zex thought that the battle might have come to an end. I don't know what you were expecting. I mean, from a boy that wasn't raised right? A boy that isn't taught well by his father is a disappointment and a shame to this world. I don't know why you all had your hopes up. Before Riser could finish that sentence, Naruto stood over him, grabbing him by the throat and flinging him across the arena. You never stop talking, Riser. You know, I can forgive a lot of things. There are a lot of things that don't particularly piss me off. But do you want to know what does? People who threaten my family and my friends. People who lord their power over others, and instead of helping them, they hurt them. But do you want to know one thing that I can never forgive? The one thing I will never tolerate. You talking about my father. Don't you dare talk about my father. Naruto gripped his hand around Riser's throat. My father was a hero, larger than light. You don't even compare to him. He may have been just a mortal, but he was more of a man than you will ever be. Don't you dare act like you and him are on the same league. You aren't worthy to be in the same room as him. You aren't worthy to speak his name. You dare talk about my father to my face. The only thing you've earned is a death sentence. Naruto would kick Riser all the way back as he held his gauntlet-covered hand into the air. That's it. I've had enough. Enough of all of this. It ends now. Riser would create the largest ball of flame that he could. I don't give a damn about you or anyone. The only thing that matters to me is that I never have to see your face again. You will never challenge me. Do you understand? Yokai trash. I will burn you. You won't find a place in hell. No, I'm going to wipe your pathetic existence off the face of this earth. Naruto stood back as his Rasengan began to grow. I'm fine with that. You think I care? One way or another, it ends now. Naruto! Riser! Phoenix! Burst! Ninja art! Dragon style! Eternal Rasengan! The two attacks would collide in that moment. As the explosion came to an end, the smoke cleared and the dust settled, it would be revealed that there was only one left standing. His left arm looked like it had been burned to a crisp, but he stood victorious. Naruto Uzumaki had won. Sir Zex was pleased with the outcome. Naruto was surrounded by his friends, who were all there to congratulate him on his victory and attend to his wounds. Rias being the first, holding him close and grabbing hold of his arm, healing it beyond all compare. His arm would have to be bandaged and covered for some time, but he had gotten the win. As they prepared to leave, Riser left in his shame as the House of Phoenix suffered a critical blow. Sir Zex would have a griffin ready for them to return to home. It would only be seated for two, so the others would be making their way back through other means. This was for Rias and for Naruto. As the two went flying back home together, Rias would apologize over and over again. She knew if she had been better, then this wouldn't have happened. You sacrificed your arm. You even became a devil. All just so that you could save me. I don't know how I'll ever repay you for this. I think the process can be undone. We can make you... Naruto shook his head. What's done is done. There's no point worrying about it. Besides, I don't have any regret about what I've done. I'd do it over and over again. 1,000 times if asked. Naruto? I'm not just in this for a title or for a prize. I did it because I care. If you ever need me, I'll always be there for you. Rias smiled at Naruto's reassuring words before doing the unthinkable as she pulled him closer, giving him a deep and passionate kiss. Naruto was caught off guard by this more than anything, since it was something he didn't see coming. Rias, you... I mean, that was my first... Oh, really? Mine too. Well, I guess we'll always have that now, won't we? Naruto would blush from ear to ear, the moon shining over them, as the blonde-haired boy and the crimson-haired girl made their way home, mirroring another familiar pair from a story in a world long since forgotten. Naruto and the other members of the House of Grimmery would all make their way back to school. Of course, Reiner and Asya were extremely worried over Naruto's arm. It would recover in time, but for now it had to stay bandaged up. Whatever that power was, the power the boosted gear possessed, along with the power of the Nine Tails, if it could match up to the power of the immortal Phoenix, then who knows? There was more to it than met the eye. Of course, Naruto had no idea where his journey would take him next. Maybe he'd follow Rias up on that offer. The Hokage, 5th Devil King of the Underworld, That didn't have such a bad ring to it. Maybe that would be the next goal he'd want to pursue. In either case, no matter what came next, Naruto looked to face whatever the future held. If he'd truly be the last shinobi, then he made two promises. He would never waver in his convictions. And his ninja way, it would be like the will of fire, burning bright and everlasting. In the meantime, little did Naruto know, his life, the people that he would meet, and the enemies that he would face, they were all congregating a lot faster than expected. As an older man was sitting by the docks, he smiled as he felt a presence behind him. Took you long enough to get here. I'm sorry. I had to fulfill your request. It took a lot longer than I would have hoped. Don't need to worry about it. You're just in time. So, she's still alive? You're not going to do anything? Nah. She was just a pawn being used in someone else's scheme. Besides, she's under new protection now, and I dare not mess with her. And besides, there are some other interesting toys that are congregating here that I can't wait to see in action. How about you, White Emperor? Off in the abandoned Kuo Church. We're finally here, Irina would say as she went to rest in one of the pews. So, this is where that battle happened, huh? Indeed it is, Zenobia would say. We would have gotten here much sooner if we hadn't spent all day in the museum. I couldn't help it. They had a tribute painting of the angels. It was so beautiful. I just couldn't turn away. I could just feel its holiness blessing me as my eyes gazed all over it. I share your faith, my sister, but even still, we are on a critical mission and we can't afford to... Wait, where is he? Oh, he said he'd follow behind. He's not too far away. You know, if you guys are just gonna make me carry all of the bags, the least you can do is not walk so far ahead of me. Sorry, Issei. Thank you so much. You are a great help. No problem, Irina. Irina, don't use Issei like that. You know that he does... Issei? Yes, Zenobia? What's that under your cloak? Nothing. Before Issei could move away, Zenobia had already grabbed what he was holding. This is a dirty magazine. Issei, what the? Nuns Gone Wild 6? Hey, it's a lot better than Nuns Gone Wild 5. Issei! How could you be reading something like this? This is unbecoming of someone of your stature. Now, come on. I mean, who has never felt for the temptations of man? And I mean, come on, they're holy breast. Holy breast? I mean, come on, think about it. What could be holier than a nun's rack? I mean, that's sacred, divine. Oh! Zenobia, don't hit him. He can't help that he's like this way. It's the faults of the temptations of man, I promise. Yeah, what she said. You two are hopeless. We need to stay focused on the mission at hand and why we came here. Oh yeah, right. The holy swords that got stolen. You know, If we keep those things under watch, how on earth did they get stolen in the first place? I mean, seriously, the security in heaven's gone down the shitter these last couple of years. That's not the point. What matters is that we find them and we return them immediately before something worse happens. I heard that there are some devils in this town. You think they'll give us any trouble? Even if they do, I don't see why we have to worry. We have the Golden Dragon Emperor with us. I don't think we have anything to worry about. Yeah, you can depend on me. Any devils come our way, I'll gladly cut them down. Besides, there's no way I'm losing to any one of their kind. Issei would smirk. Yeah. Now if only you could have that same fervor when it came to your perversions. Now let's quit messing around and get to work. We have a mission to fulfill. This concludes Naruto DxD, The Last Shinobi. What if Naruto was in high school DxD? Season 1, Part 4, the Season 1 finale. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned for Monday's video as we continue Naruto, King of the Clouds. What if Naruto was a cloud ninja? Part 6. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. Signing off, and I'll see you next time.